All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for another day of the SEA Lower Division DPC. You know, it is MLP Dota and John X Fire. John, welcome back, sir. Another lovely day of SEA Dota. But how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, Mike. Today was a bit rough. No water, as you can see. I couldn't quite shave, so you've got to deal with weird-looking John, unclean-looking John. But we've got a very clean matchup here to start us off with. Galaxy Racer up against Team Mystery. This one should be a bit of a back and forth. Both teams kind of standing in the bottom middle part of the pack here in the lower div, both going 1-2 right now. So they need to start climbing up if they want any shot of being in the top 2 for promotion. And even those chances are starting to grow slimmer as the weeks go on. So every single match counts here. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was in the Asia Pacific Predator League. And that one did go Galaxy Racer's way. That was only a best of 1. they did manage to beat Team Mystery. So we'll see if they can maintain that momentum. You have some of the openings here in the draft already. A Centaur and Grimstroke taken up for Galaxy Racer. Team Mystery just landing the Snapfire for themselves first. But GXR with a Centaur Grim, I mean, this is a really potent lane combo. Chain stuns coming through. Centaur is pretty efficient in lane, or at least pretty efficient in the game now. It's just really good spikes to hit with the Vanguard and the Hood of Defiance. Very hard to zone out. Once you hit that blink with the chain stun with a Grimstroke, it could be really hard to play against. Team Mystery, you take the Sand King with a Snapfire. So they're building up some team fight for themselves. They've got the Burst Strike, Epicenter plus Kisses coming through. They've got Burst Strike plus Cookie Stun to play with. Maybe some flex here on Sand King for mid if the off-lane matchup doesn't quite work out. So some flex on hand for Team Mystery as well with that Sand King.
Okay, fair enough. I've got to say, John, I was a bit shocked to see the Sand King popping up because this hero has not looked very good over the past games we've casted in the current meta, but we'll see if Team Mystery can make it look a little bit better than what we've been seeing. I thought Mystery might go for the second pick Elder Titan here with the Snapfire because, the Astral Spirit plus the Mortimer's Kisses mean the damage is a little bit insane. I do think you still have the option, though. If you wanted to, go for an Elder Titan 5, run the Snapfire pos 4 with the Sand King. And that way, in the middle of a team fight, you can set up with the Stomp, get a nice easy Epicenter and Tubaro Strike into the Snapfire Kisses. And I think that could be quite potent for the side of Team Mystery. Mind you, with Galaxy Racer's opening, I really like it. Centaur, pretty busted right now. Grimstroke, along with the Centaur, even more busted. Mind you, they already have a lot of magic damage, so you don't care so much about the Retaliate at the moment with the opening of Team Mystery. But you get a Hood of Defiance up. Suddenly that magic damage doesn't really matter as much. And I think the opening, purely from Galaxy Racer's side, is a lot stronger, at least for now.
Yeah, it definitely feels stronger. Just easier to set up with Centaur Grimstroke. For Snapfire Sand King, especially for the Sand King, we're looking for blink timing here, maybe a Veil of Discord timing as well to get your damage off. Really interesting for Team Mystery to actually take out the Axe when the Centaur is there. So maybe they're expecting that Axe core that we had a bit of a chit chat about last time. And just having that option to go this time, just rushing the Manta on the safe lane might be what Mystery is counteracting. I don't know if Galaxy Racer has kind of drafted that around. There's one more aspect here for Team Mystery as well that we didn't quite touch on. We do have QWE playing for the rest of the lower div. I do believe Ohio's not going to be able to join in for these last matches. So we'll see if that factors in as well for Mystery, not having their full roster on hand, having to play with a sub, and whether or not that will affect how they perform down the line.
We will see. I mean, Ohio, I feel like is a pretty darn good player to have in your team, so I'm sure the effectiveness, or rather the effect of him not being there, probably will show a little bit. Still going on with the draft though, Galaxy Racer, third pick for them now. What do we want to follow up with? Maybe just a position 5 pick up here. Maybe even a position 4 if you don't want to run the 4 Grimstroke.
Yeah, it's pretty open. For the 5s, I'd say Warlock is still available.
Oh.
So why not? You've got the Grimstroke, Double Fatal Bonds,
Of course.
Stampede, Upheaval on top, chase people down, stun them in the Upheaval. You're stuck, you get the Golem for a team fight. Could be really nice here for GXR if they want it, but it's rather open, right? Like, you're not looking for specific combos. You already have Grimstroke sent. That's already really strong. So you're open to how else to approach. You can maybe look at, say, a Nyx if you're really worried about a mid lane here that's just a bit too mobile. Maybe some good form of lockdown. A CM to just sustain yourself, although that's not been as popular. You go with the line instead, so the lockdown is there. Hex, Earth Spike coming through. You do have ways of keeping down, say, an Ember, keeping down a Storm, although they are still going to be slippery, but you have good options here. Team Mystery do go with the Abaddon, so Sand King plus Abaddon is now online. If you want to run that lane, you can play with the Burst Strike plus the Aphotic Shield. Just run up, get damage off. It's going to be really annoying whether or not the Sand Kings would Snap or Abaddon. It's just very hard to deal with. Abaddon giving you the hard dispel, so kind of protects you from a lot of that control coming through from GXR and a lot of that burst. So the Lion Burst, the Centaur Burst combo might not feel as fast because the shield and the Mist Coil can come out from the Abaddon. So Team Mystery kind of padding themselves out, still keeping it open. A lot of safe lane core combos still bring out with that, but it's a very defensive support to have, which is kind of nice against the more offensive-oriented supports from the side of GXR.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be working overtime this Abaddon. So many disables to try and purge off with the Aphotic Shield, and now you add even another one. The Tiny is around. that should either be a mid or a safe lane Tiny. A lot of chatter about the Tiny right now and that support role, but it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. I wonder though if they want to run that as a safe lane or a mid lane. What do you really want here? Do you want the Tiny to control the tempo of the game? Do you want him to run around with the rest of his heroes and just kind of make space for the position 1? Or would you rather have Tiny be that position 1? Because right now it does seem to favor being in the 1 or 2 role.
Yeah, it just feels a lot nicer with the Ag Shard building into the right-click build. I think from the mid, you can still kind of hit that itemization, but you will have to rush the blink from the mid lane. So really just depends on your priority there. I think it's fairly open for GXR. Mystery with Luna, that's kind of one way to not be as annoyed by the Centaur lane. You're ranged here, although the range is not that big. The Centaur will have to cut through the creep wave to go over, get his stun combo with a Grimstroke. Luna, of course, in this case, might just opt for, say, the Glaives plus the passive build, and opt to just farm the jungle, get a fast Massive Mandus, escalate that way. Of course, you can also still opt for the Lucent Beam, maybe get that value point of Eclipse at 6, but that might impact your early farm. I know a lot of players tend to look down on Lunas that actually don't level their Glaives up early, just because you take away a lot of farm potential, so we'll see what Mystery prioritizes in their end. Galaxy Racer are kind of stuck by just running either Centaur Lion or Centaur Grim to counteract the Luna, and in that case, the supports will really have to put the work in to zone out the enemy support and kind of try and line up with the Centaur stun to get the harassment on Luna. You don't want the Luna to have a easy ramp to the Massive Mandus. Once you hit that point, you will have to contest the jungle really early on from GXR, otherwise you run the risk of Ghost just free farming himself to a win.
Absolutely. Last banouts to come. Apologies for that, by the way. Just had to alter some settings in the in Dota 2, which has frozen half my screen apparently, but it's fine. Team Mystery, one more pick to go. Last pick up. They need a mid laner, and they are going to go for the Ember. Fair enough. I think it is going to be a pretty strong kind of Ember game. You do have the Silence and the Hex out from the Lion to be able to catch him out, but it does seem like you want a hero like a Spirit Brother who can just kind of roam the map and start setting up kills, because you do have a lot of kill potential here with this draft. Galaxy Racer, though, safe lane or mid lane is what they need. I think right now we could probably both agree they're going to be looking more towards the safe lane, but again, the Tiny can be flexed quite a bit, so it could go either way. Very hard to tell right now. But with the draft itself, it does feel like the Tiny does favor the mid lane in this matchup. I do think there will be a lot of value in having that Tiny roaming around from that mid lane, just, you know, filling up his bottle with those power runes and making rotations across the lanes. Because right now, with a Centaur Grimstroke in one lane, with a Lion in the other lane, you do have a lot of kill potential already. So you might just want to go for a very kind of safe carry here if you are Galaxy Racer and just make space for him.
Yeah.
Like most carries... And most carries do beat out Luna right now as well. That's the thing. It's not like Luna's the be-all, end-all of carries. You can definitely get a carry that can outscale the Luna quite easily right now.
Oh, for sure. You have a lot of options here. The Lifestealer's one if you're worried about the magic damage. You do have the Centaur vehicle to play with. It is slightly passive, but again,
it's bad.
Kind of hit a nice spike. Perhaps... Don't really want an Ursa. Terrorblade's out of the picture. Something like the PL into Luna, although Luna does deal with illusions quite nicely. Maybe...
Oh,
Drow, all right.
Okay.
Just a range here coming through. Drow into Ember can be a bit awkward, as the Ember already has some good gap close, but it's only the Ember. Maybe once you get that blink on Xiao Yu on the Sand King, you can jump the back line, make it hard for Mizu to just feel safe. But we've got the range core versus range core. I don't think we've seen this in a very, very long time ourselves, Mike.
No.
I mean, we've been talking about range cores coming back with 7.29, but we never really saw too much of that shift in cores. But Drow versus Luna. It's been a very long time since we've seen that one. Some interesting timings to hit. GXR, as you mentioned, you want Alacrity here to get a fast blink. KYXY as well, probably after his first defensive item, whether or not he goes for Vanguard or Hood of Defiance. But after that, he will want to back up his Tiny, make space for the Drow. The one thing for the Drow here is that he may get jumped, she may get jumped by the Ember or the Sand King, but you have a Centaur with Stampede. With that lower cooldown, every minute and a half, you're always going to have a safety net for Mizu. So it's not going to feel as bad for the Drow as long as that spell is up. So if you're Team Mystery, you will have to really get your burst damage off quick if you are hunting down the Drow range.
John, you know the hard question I'm about to ask you. Who came out with the better draft before we get game number 1 started?
I'm leaning towards Galaxy Racer. I think I like the timings they're gonna hit with the Centaur and the Tiny. They've got really good frontliners to play with that. For the side of Team Mystery, the Luna Flash farm's a lot better than the Drow, but you will have to get that early lane started. There's some back and forth that can come out as well with your Sand King lane. You will have to see Xiaoyu apply as much pressure as possible on the Drow. And for a Sand King up against a ranged hero, it doesn't feel as impactful. Like the Caustic Finale doesn't feel like as much of a threat. The Sandstorm doesn't feel like as much of a threat. The Burrow Strike early on, the levels, the range of it isn't amazing. So there should still be a lot of ways for Mizu to get that farm. I think you can see both sides. Very happy with the tips. Some value coming out from these matches, you know, building up those shards as you'd want.
You gotta get those tips out. I mean, I love that line. It's good to be king. That's one of my favorites. It's very simple but straight to the point. In fact, that's why I want Sand King to get buffed a bit more, John, because he does have some nice voice lines. In particular, the silver ones as well. He says, "It stings, don't it?" It makes me happy when I get to spam that at people who just died to me. But I don't get to play much Sand King right now, John. It's rather depressing as a hero. It's kind of good and it kind of isn't. It's weird.
Yeah, it's just from that offlane matchup. I think when you're against a ranged hero, it doesn't feel amazing. And then you're pressured to get a blink timing. Whereas we tend to see a lot of Sand Kings opt to leave Epicenter until level 8, level 9. So it's kind of weird. If you get your blink too fast, you don't have the biggest impact. Although we'll see some little scuffles here. You have more stunts in GXR. So the side of Mystery is not going to force the issue. Going to be an even 2-for-2 on bounties. As we see the lane split up, you've got KYXY on the Centaur rushing top with Paulson on the line. They're going to be laning up against Wayne on the Abaddon and Ghost on the Luna. So Luna Abaddon lane is a bit more passive. You've got the shield ready here on Wayne. You can maybe try to look to make an aggressive play once you've got Curse of Avernus running up, but the issue is there's so many stuns on the side of GXR that you might just prefer to keep it steady, get the farm up on Ghost, and just try to mitigate some of the kill potential coming out from GXR here.
No, I do agree with you on that, John. I don't think there's going to be any value on going Curse of Avernus. Like, you could chase Polison down with it, but for KYXY, he's going to have Retaliate eventually, and that's going to make it impossible for you to actually get the damage out. For now, though, he went for the level 1 hoof stop, so Wayne is going to punish him quite a bit for this skill build. As I said, as the levels go up for the Centaur, that Retaliate is going to make it much harder to actually be able to contest them in the lane. Of course, we'll have a look at the other lanes as well. You've got mid lane, Alacrity is going to be up against Mercury. Right now, pretty even kind of trading lane between the two. I expect it to stay that way until we get the levels up as well, so I doubt there's much kill potential in this lane, unless we see some rotations.
Yeah, it should be steady for Mercury. Once you get the Flame Guard leveled up, you're going to be blocking off a lot of that Avalanche combinations coming from Alacrity. But at the same time, once you lose Flame Guard, it's a bit harder to clear out the wave. So Alacrity can kind of control the farm coming through here a lot better. He's got the tree grab as well to just get some good cleave damage off. Whereas for Mercury, Sleight Fist is on a bit of a cooldown early on. So you have to watch your spacing. So far, nicer here for Mercury early on. I don't think Alacrity's going to feel the heat too badly. Big spike is level 6, especially for the Ember. We'll see who does manage to hit that down the line. Can take a look at our last lane down bot. You've got QWE on the Snap, Xiaoyu on that Sand King. They do have a potent combo here if they get the stun combos off.
Mercury actually almost went down in the mid lane. Meanwhile, bot lane 3-4-3 in danger. They can't quite finish him off though. Mizu is going to make sure he remains protected and now turns back around onto Xiaoyu with a stroke of fate. Xiaoyu's going to be alright, but he is out of regen. Luckily, QWE does have a salve available and he is going to give it over. That's going to mean QWE now is going to be left without regen. And in all fairness to them, this is a very kind of hard laning matchup. Not very easy to lane into the Drow nor the Grimstroke when you have Snap by a Sand King. You just don't really have the range to harass them out with just normal right clicks. You've got to get in there with the Cookie and Burrow Strike and even the Sandstorm. But even then, you risk getting turned on like this, and Mizu, just look at the damage output. Is he's going to find a kill? No. Just barely not able to reach for the last hit. QWE is barely going to hit away. But you can't lane like this.
No, it's such a hard lane to turn around. Mainly because Sand King, again, the presence you get with this hero against ranged here is not great. You can't play with your Caustic, you can't really Sandstorm safely, you can't play with a Burst Strike to harass people out. Mizu's just having a free ride here in terms of last hits. Still somewhat matching a Ghost, so it's not amazing free farm for the Drow, but just this laning pressure makes it very hard for Xiao Yu to hit those key timings. He's gonna have to try to rush out the Vanguard here. In this case, he just wants to be protected. No Veil of Discord. Probably looking for the blink timing or the Veil down the line. And it's a lot of farm for a Sand King to have to take over. That means you're going to have to share that jungle space with Luna down the line.
It's very interesting as well that Xiao Yu didn't opt to go for the Sandstorm whatsoever. He just went Caustic Finale and Burrow Strike. And well, the problem with Caustic in this lane matchup is you're never going to hit the Drow with it. So, I mean, I can understand if Xiao Yu's just trying to push the lane out and get an XP advantage, but apart from that, you can't really maintain yourself in this lane with Caustic Finale. I mean, now it's definitely going to be very useful because you can farm this small camp like that. And maybe that's just the game plan. Just find whatever farm you can and try to ignore the Drow Ranger. Meanwhile, top lane, well, that's going to be KYXY going down. They might find the Luna as a trade, but no, Polison. He couldn't get the right click off in time, and Ghost is going to be able to survive through all that. So that's a very good kind of start for this safe lane of Mystery. KYXY, even with the level 2 Retaliate, just getting jumped on like that. It's like Team Mystery, they just don't seem to care about it.
You have to watch yourself if you're the Centaur. Like, once Wayne comes out and he just gets free hits of the Avernus, it's just so hard to run away. And the one thing they're doing here on the side of GXR is they're focusing on the Abaddon. They get the chain stun off into Luna, but they're forced to chase Wayne because he's closer, and with his Aphotic Shield at level 2, he just has so much EHP to play with. It's really hard to get that initial burst off and focus on the other hero, and the damage is starting to pile up. You've got level 2 Lucent Beam here for Ghost, so no glaives. He should look for that at level 5, but this kind of build-up does mean he's got a lot of laning presence that you don't really want to hold out against if you're a Centaur.
I guess the thing is for Ghost, he doesn't really want to push the lane out with glaives, and of course if it does bounce to the Centaur, you're going to get hit by Retaliate every time, so it looks like he just wants to try and avoid that scenario. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Xiao Yu still in massive danger, but the neutrals actually save his life, as the split shot arrows were not hitting him because the bodies were blocking. So very unfortunate again for Mizu, who misses out on a second kill on the Drow. That means Xiao Yu, while he has to run all the way back to the fountain, is not feeding his life away. Who is, though, is Polison. At top lane, he does go down again. Wayne will pick up another kill on this Abaddon. And this off lane has really turned into a bit of a disaster here for GXR. There's now bottom lane. Mercury, he even gets the Grimstroke.
Yeah, it's a slower start coming out from Galaxy Racer. It looks like they're kind of underestimating the damage output of Ghost up top. So again, they keep jumping Wayne first. The Aphotic Shield just is way too much EHP for them to deal with at this point. And Ghost just comes in, gets a Lucent Beam off, then they stack on the Curse of Avernus. With an Orb of Venom, it's just so hard to run.
And they're trying to go onto Mercury now in the mid lane, but he's got the Flame Guard active. And he'll actually turn around for a chain down to Polison. Very aggressive plays here for Mercury. He may get punished, but no, the Earth Spike will not land. Still Alacrity, Avalanche Toss up in 2 seconds. Meanwhile, Wayne does go down top side. Mercury gets another chains off. QWE now going to move in to make sure they can't continue the chase as top lane. Ghost, he found another kill onto KYXY. And while they did kill off Wayne, it's just not worth giving kills away like this to Ghost.
Oh, it's really, really rough. I mean, Ghost already has that Mask of Madness at 7 minutes in, has level 6, so went 2-2-2. Moonglave's up, you can start to clear out some of these camps, some of these stacks built up, and this is when the flash form of a Luna really goes out of control. So you need to be able to lock in the jungle here from the side of GXR, prevent that flash form from coming through, as the Luna will be a massive issue. It just escalates a lot quicker. The Drow can kind of keep up with a split shot, but it's no Mask of Madness carrier, at least not nowadays.
A quiet period in the game. Alacrity. Having a look at Mercury right now. Mercury with that max flame guard. Oh, it's going to wear off just in time. Alacrity timing it very nicely. He does have remnants available, but Polison, he can't get the Earth Spike. Nor the Hex, apparently. I think he was trying to go for the stun first, rather than the Hex on the Ember.
Yeah, just a bit of hesitation does cost him there. And Mercury's very lucky as well, manages to secure that Illusion Rune and River. They have much better rune control coming out from Mysteries, and Galaxy Racer just not able to put themselves forward to prevent the value coming through from Mercury. So that does mean Alacrity's forced to walk home. He's missing out Creep Wave. You're being a lot more efficient here on the side of Mystery. 1 to 5, 1k lead up. They're still keeping track of this jungle as well. Like Xiao Yu is constantly coming in, preventing Mizu from just having safe farm and Drow.
Oh, he's going to try and run into Mizu right now, but Alacrity is around to try and help out and does pop a dust. Still, the Remnants forward now from your Ember. They really want the Drow. Instead, they'll turn onto Alacrity and just try to get the Tiny, but the Cookie gonna disappear in the middle of the Sleight of Fist. Now Polison moves in with 3-4-3, and they're gonna try and go on the Grimstroke. There's Xiao Yu going down, QWE. He's gonna get hexed up. Polison has the TP cancellation, and Mercury is still trying to find a way out. Polison will at least get a courier before he dies, but... Oh, excuse me, it was QWE who got the courier, but Polison will get the kill on the Snapfire. Close call there for Mizu, but it looks like Mystery just diving a little bit too deep.
Yeah, just being too aggressive out there. They don't have enough levels in Xiao Yu to really secure that as well. Xiao Yu just hit 6, does opt to go for a 3-2-1, so no epicenter as we tend to see. Gonna have to go into those defensive items first, and that is going to be one issue for Mystery. The fact that Xiao Yu is going for this slower build-up in Sand King means that you will eventually kind of share farm with Ghost and Jungle. Ghost is going to have to soak all of that for himself, so the Sand King in this case, Xiao Yu is going to have to find that farm elsewhere. We have seen them really emphasize the jungle, but if they overcommit, and there are some good wards here from GXR to watch that Sand King's movement. And of course, you're not slowing down Mizu as well. So despite having this amazing start in Ghost, the Drow is still somewhat keeping up, although the lead is building up for Ghost as he's got a lot of stacks to clear out, sitting at 5k, a good amount ahead of anyone else.
That he is way, way far ahead. Ghost is just farming like a madman right now, and there's not much they can do about it at the moment. It's like mid lane, Alacrity still trying to deal with Mercury on the Ember. But you haven't set that tempo if you're Galaxy Racer. Like, you haven't got that pace going that Mystery can't keep up with. And that's going to be a massive issue. Because as long as this goes on, Ghost is just going to keep free farming. If you can't take over the map as Galaxy Racer, I don't think you're going to outscale this Luna anymore. Like, Mizu should be able to on the Drow, but he's just so far behind in terms of net worth. It's going to be a little bit challenging to catch up as they try to go into Xiao Yu now. Wayne's going to keep him protected. Alacrity's going to be trapped in the tree line, and we can come out at any time, but the problem is Mystery is going to be waiting for him. He'll go for another avalanche toss, but there's your Mortimer's Kisses now. Alacrity going to try and run with the Stampede, but the Burrow Strike is there from Xiao Yu. And Ghost will take the kill. Just all around bad news for Galaxy Racer.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of went in just as 2 heroes for the defense. The full force of Mystery was there besides their Ember. So a bit optimistic to look for the pickoff. We're seeing the heals coming through here from Wayne. Really buy that space out. Managed to heal up Xiao Yu. Makes it hard to get that initial burst. And now...
KYXY. Wedge is going to be there. Remnant forward from Mercury. Xiao Yu playing on the edge is going to be able to survive. And KYXY is the one who will drop. Real big problems. As GXR are going to move in again. Finger out is going to get QWE. That'll be the first finger kill of the game, which is definitely a good start for Polison. Apart from that, though, it's still a 4-7, and again, every time I look at Ghost, he's just further and further ahead of this Drow. Now over 2k ahead.
Yeah, it's just free farm. This is basically just the freest game you could ask for Ghost. And we know how Team Mystery plays. Ghost is their win condition. As long as Ghost gets this amazing start, he's always going to be in a really good spot to carry through the game. He's at 7k. The next here is KYXY at 4.7. A huge gap between everyone right now compared to Luna. And it is going to be a bit too much to handle. We're even seeing small plays come true. Like you see Mercury just constantly grabbing that bounty rune on the triangle. And that just means you're canceling out that timely resource for GXR. They're not even getting that bonus gold anymore, so taking everything here on Mystery right now. 2k up on total net worth, and they're even going for a smoke play. Mercury and PW are looking for an angle.
And Mercury, yeah, right into Mizu. Mizu, he will not react fast enough. He'll get a gust out. Stampede now going to fly out from KYXY, and that's going to be it. He'll be fine. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Wayne is going to get caught out. The Abaddon will drop. So GXR, excuse me, is going to be able to find a kill and let their drow get out. It's very hard for me to say GXR, John, because there's a car that goes by GSXR in Australia. So I keep mixing them up. I might just stick with Galaxy Racer from now on, as Mercury will get caught out. There's your Avalanche Toss, and that'll be a very nice kill for Galaxy Racer. An immediate tip there for 3-4-3.
Yeah, I mean, that's an important kill. The Ember has been doing way too much work here. They managed to get the gold injection onto Alacrity. He really needs that blink to be up. Still a ways off, about 700 gold. Once you have that, you can play a lot more aggressive on that Tiny. But the side of Team Mystery, they're still getting this amazing farm for Ghost. The Manta style, it's almost up. So your controller is going to have to boil down to a very quick Earth Spike or a very quick Hex on Luna before anything else can happen. You've also managed to farm up the Vanguard on Xiao Yu. So he's going for that defensive Sand King build, going for the Hood of Defiance next. Blink's going to be stalled out, but with the Ember up front, doesn't feel like Xiao Yu's under pressure here.
Nice chains out, but it's only a level 1 chain, so it doesn't really hold them down for that long. KYXY, he'll back off. As long as that T1 mid tower remains standing, it looks like Galaxy Racer should be pretty happy with themselves. While you still have to be worried about Ghost, they are just trying to keep up in terms of farm and just buy Mizu out the space. Top lane, Mercury has the control. 3-4-3, going to try and throw the silence out with the Inkswell, but now Xiao Yu is going to be able to come in and clean up.
I'll take that.
All eyes are going to be just on Mizu here. It seems like they've kind of relegated themselves to just allowing Mizu to farm, and with GXR, they're not in a position to make those rotations yet. Perhaps with this tiny blink they could try. But even with that, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, it gives them some really good burst damage to play with. There are no BKBs yet on Team Mystery's end. You just have to worry about Wayne. Again, that aphotic shield has been causing issues.
Strike. Mid lane, they do have the Mortimer's Kisses to fly in. Stampede is there. Alacrity is in with the Avalanche Toss and does get 2. Mercury and Xiao Yu already gone as Alacrity keeps going forward. The Eclipse going to force them back a little bit, but another successful defense here from Galaxy Racer. Team Mystery, Alacrity, he's in again with the toss back on the Abaddon, but there's your borrowed timeout to protect. So he'll turn right back around. Now a buyback from Xiao Yu, but he'll get the Burrow Strike in before the gust flies out. Mizu is going to keep running. Team Mystery, they will get nothing out of that buyback, and that is not going to feel good as Alacrity is back in with the Avalanche Toss. Kills Wayne off. Xiao Yu, all he can do is back. And they may have given a massive opening to Galaxy Racer now, John. With that buyback on Xiao Yu, he's going to be that much further behind. And now Alacrity going in for the dieback is going to be able to get it. Oh, this is an absolute disaster for Mystery as QWE also going to drop. Alacrity just setting up all the kills for his team. Oh, this is a real problem now.
Yeah, it all boils down to that blink from Alacrity. Like, they just needed a way to reach into the back line to get one person tossed out their way, and the damage flies through. Like, the damage coming out from Ghost isn't amazing just yet. And now you're in a really risky spot for Team Mystery. You died back on the Sand King. You've let out a lot of gold. Your full investment has been on Ghost. So every single time these other cores die, they're starting to fall really, really behind.
Mercury, Avalanche Toss, Inkswell, all there. Alacrity once again setting up the kill, and they even pop the Stampede just in case they need the extra damage. Galaxy Racer now well and truly back into this game. And it does kind of go back to what you were just saying, John. Like, if you don't have Ghost around for the team fight, all that net worth just is removed from the team, and well, Ghost at the very least is going to need that BKB up to really be able to just stand there and fight. But Galaxy Racer now, with this momentum and this net worth advantage they have, I think they just keep pressing the advantage. I don't think there's any more reason to allow Ghost to keep farming up like this.
Yeah, and then they can start taking over that top jungle. They've got deep wards in the area. Only the triangle's really safe right now for Ghost. Ideally, in this case for GXR, you'd want to start looking for tier 2s to take and even open up the map a lot more. Maybe start eyeing the Roshan here. You can see Ghost kind of shifting his farming spot, playing in the bot lane, playing around at bot jungle now as well. They even got Wayne around, getting some D wards off to keep Ghost safe. But I worry about these other cores and Mystery's end. The farm of Mercury's lagged behind. Alacrity's above by about 1.3k. Xiao Yu's barely above a pause for line. So that progression in these other cores has been sacrificed for the Luna. And every single time Ghost comes in, the Eclipse has to be on point. And the last time around we saw him use it, there's a creep wave. It's by that mid-tier 1. They need to find the angles to play with that Luna's massive damage boon. And if you don't manage to get Eclipse used well, it kind of feels flat until more right-click items come out for the Luna.
Mercury can be very cautious again. Paulison is around with his own blink now, and as soon as they see this Ember, there should be a Hex out. Mercury still, they don't see each other yet, but now they do. Alacrity's still going to try and chase down QWE, but it looks like the Snapfire is going to be able to cookie her way into the corner and be just fine. It's that nighttime vision, of course, just providing so much fog, and well, they didn't have any observer wards around, so they couldn't really see the Ember to be able to initiate. It's very lucky, though, for Mercury that they did not have that vision.
And kind of has to farm in those risky spots. He knows that the safest farm has to go out onto Ghost. They are sort of grouped up around the bot lane out for Team Mystery, maybe looking for a bit of a wrap. They do know where GXR are. They're kind of in that top jungle near the mid lane. Could try to wrap around if they want to, but they don't really have vision as well, so it could be a bit awkward for both sides here.
Mercury, try and move in, 3-4-3. Gonna be alright for now. Paulison, nice Earthquake there into the Avalanche Toss and the Finger. They just blow him up. Soulbinder's there, lock them down onto Xiao Yu. The Stampede to get away from the Snapfire Kisses, and everyone is gonna survive for now as 3-4-3. He will be the first to die on Galaxy Racer, but trading the Ember for your Grimstroke is gonna feel pretty nice. If you're Galaxy Racer and now they smoke up again, they want to keep going. Alacrity going to try and find a way in. Oh, they're going to find QWE. Avalanche, Toss, all of it been thrown out, and Alacrity on this Tiny just setting up so much for his team. And again, it's kind of that thing, Ghost. He needs the frontliners there so he can stand his ground and fight. And he needs to have the BKB up, and he's trying to get all those things, but his team is... They're trying to fight preemptively, and I don't think it's the way to go about it.
No, it just came down to that really beautiful positioning of GXR. The fact that Paulson managed to get that initial stun meant that the Ember could not play around for his team, and he managed to get the Roche off the back of that as well. So Mizu's protected now with a second life. Even if your Ember jumps the Drow Ranger somehow, you're probably going to have to, throw out even more spells, invest even more time to kill off the Drow here. Team Mystery, they're lagging behind now. 14-9, 2k lead up for GXR. Our Luna still number 1 by about 5k gold now above that Drow. Issue is that 5k gold doesn't feel impactful. The BKB is up, so this should be the time Mystery looks to make a play, but I believe they were spotted out by the ward there.
I believe so too, John. They're going to be in position to break the smoke. Alacrity, very good positioning as Mercury going to have his smoke broken, tries to go in with the Sleight of Fist. It is not going to work, and they might be able to turn. Ghost, he'll get a courier for his trouble. Like Galaxy Racer, they are going to smoke up. Into the mid lane Mystery goes, but this could be very dangerous. You've also got to blink up on KYXY. It's just on the courier. But they're going to move in without it. Avalanche Toss right into Ghost. No BKB being popped, but now it's there. Into the Eclipse, they will get the Tiny. That'll be one down. Now KYXY, he does have the blink, but it might be too late. He'll go into the back lines, but they have the control for him. The Centaur in big danger now, and they will just surround. He will try to stampede away, and it looks like it might be enough, but Ghost will kill off Paulison instead.
Thanks for playing Dota 2.
With the illusions. 3-4-3, Inkswell gonna be there, but it won't matter. They have the Burrow Strike, and they will find a triple kill onto Ghost. And the one big mistake Galaxy Racer made, John, they did not wait for the blink on KYXY. His courier was about 5 seconds away.
Yeah, they just rushed in. You got the initial stun coming through there from Alacrity, but we didn't see Paulson manage to get the follow-up. And I think when you don't have that burst combination, the BKB will almost always fly out there for Ghost. Manages to make use of that first charge quite nicely. They take out the mid-tier one as well. So some of that map control is starting to stabilize a bit. Both sides are kind of even. 2 mid-tier 1 towers being taken. 2 tier 1 towers being taken. And the side of GXR, I think they can just sit back, kind of reset. They did lose Aegis. They lost their Drow. You're not going to feel great about just dropping those heroes for no good reason. But you know right now, Eclipse is down for a minute. You could maybe look for a rotation out. Looks like they just want to sit back, get Mizu his own BKB before anything else happens, and that's a fair enough assessment. Once you have the BKB, the Ember control and damage, the Sand King control and damage does kind of disappear there.
Yeah, you're going to be very cautious at that top lane. Alacrity is around in the tiny.
I'll take that.
Mystery, they're just going to sit back. Sit back, relax, keep the farm up on Ghost. He is still 5k ahead of the Drow. And it is only growing as time goes on, but we are going to have a bit of a pause. In fact, never mind, they're going to go straight away. Bit of a misclick from 343. No problem.
Yeah. I think the one thing I want to see from Galaxy Racer is maybe some sort of farm coming out for 343. Like, he's saving up for the Ag Shard. I think, really, if this game goes late, you're going to want an Aghanim Scepter on 343. Just get the Dark Portrait of the Luna. Suddenly, all that farm investment of Ghost turns against himself. So, there is still ways for GXR to kind of hold out towards the late game as well. They're not even lagging behind right now. It's just about a 1k lead for Mystery, but if they do start to bleed out some of these fights, if Mizu starts to get caught out even more in the front lines, that's when it starts to feel a bit awkward for the lineup of GXR, and that's what Team Mystery is just going to look to abuse. They're saving up for the Ags here on Xiao Yu, already very close to his Lotus Orb as well, so he's going to be very protected on the Sand King. Once you've got that upgraded Burrow Strike, it can be easier to initiate. And you're going to have even more angles for Team Mystery. We've seen the Kisses start to do a lot more damage at level 2. The Solar Crest is already up here on QWE, so they can soften up targets for the Ember and for the Luna to start twacking away on. And the side of GXR, they still need to play around with these blinks. Like, ever since they got the blink in KOXY after that disastrous mid-fight, they've been sitting back and farming, which is good for Mizu, but every single time you pick up a blink, you kind of want to make something happen ASAP.
Oh, they got on KYXY. Ive Skadi is up on Ghost with the Solar Crest. Maybe they will have the damage. KYXY will be forced to stampede away to make sure he can get out of that. And meanwhile, bot lane Mercury, he gets picked off again on the Ember. Just to be expected if Polus and Alacrity do catch him, but it's just not what you want to see if your Team Mystery.
Yeah, it's not a kill you want to be giving out, although Mystery do smoke up off the back of it. Looks like they want to turn around here.
Yeah, but Xiao Yu, he has his smoke broken. Snap by and Kisses is there. Alacrity, he's going to be able to blink away. They know where he is, but they are not going to take the risk to blink and Burrow Strike in. In fact, never mind, Xiao Yu doesn't have blink up. So they had no way to close the gap to try and get the TP cancellation. It's a big loss again for Mystery. It seems to be the one thing holding them back is just losing their mid or off lane like that, just by themselves. And you're getting to that point of the game now where you don't necessarily want to be caught alone.
No, you really don't. You need some farm up in the Ember. It's pretty bad for Mercury. He's behind Alacrity, and he's the bottom core right now, which is never a good spot for the Ember Spirit. He is trying to save up for the BKB. Once you have the BKB up on the Ember, it's safer.
Not to Wayne. Now you toss back from Alacrity. They want to try and get rid of that Aphotic Shield. KYXY gonna hold him down now. Mizu will get to work, but he's full HP again. A nice Earth Spike out from Polus and onto 2 heroes into the double Hex. They've got so much control, and they will just blow them up. Xiao Yu, he tries to get in for an epicenter. Mizu literally doesn't care. He literally just does not care as QWE is gonna try and TP out. He will not make it. They clean him up. Mystery just... They tried, but getting caught out by Alacrity like that, it seems to just be the story of the game. Alacrity continues to get a nice toss back every single team fight. And then Mystery just can't fight back.
There was also the fact that they couldn't use the BKB here on Ghost. He kind of held onto it, and then the double stun came off, and he was just held down for too long. He needs to be a bit preemptive with the BKB in these fights, especially if he knows they're already clumped around him. So they get some really good punishment on GXR's end, a massive win their way. 3K lead coming out, 18-12 at 28 minutes in.
Xiao Yu.
Taking over that jungle end.
Yeah, Hex is out. Paulson, he's got the control. They have the chains there from Mercury, but Xiao Yu barely surviving to the finger damage. They'll try to turn this one around. Paulson is going to be chased down by Mercury. They will not be able to kill off Xiao Yu. He will survive as now they have caught another. 3-4-3 will also drop. The Mystery managing to find both supports off the map. Alexi Racer gonna have to try and relax until those supports are back up. Zhao Yu now, he has enough for a blink tag.
Yeah, he goes away from the Ags build-up, I think, realizing his team needs someone to set up, or at least play with the Ember in that case. So he has to be up forward, ready to go. Nice courier snipe coming out from QWE. That is the Lincoln of Mizu taken out. So he's not going to have that protection from the single target spells coming through here, and that can make it a bit rough for our Drow. Not having any defensive item beyond the Manta here can be a bit tricky. So that's something Mystery can abuse. They are kind of grouped up. Looks like they will go for a smoke play, and the side of GXR, their supports are back up. They're sort of scattered around. This could be a really good fight for Mystery if they line it up well.
Yeah, I think they're trying to go for the blink reveal on Xiao Yu, and now they do find a big target in Alacrity. That's the one you want. Get rid of the Tiny straight off the bat, but Alacrity is not dying. The Stampede away is going to be enough. Mystery, they need to run. Well, actually, they didn't even use the Epicenter. They only used the Eclipse out of all the ultis they have. No Mortimer's Kisses either, so they still have that available. They're going to hope somebody tries to farm the mid lane again. But it looks like Galaxy Racer, they realize what's going on and they will back off. Instead now, Mystery, they might have to try and invade the Radiant Triangle if they want another team fight. But without the Eclipse, you may not want to force it. You may just want to kind of leave it be, wait for the cooldown, and come back another time.
Yeah, you kind of feel lackluster up front as the Luna. Kind of want that Eclipse up to force them to use spells, to use BKBs, and force the aggression outside from GXR. You want to be the ones playing up front, forcing GXR to kind of respond, kind of change their positioning there. And without the Eclipse, it's just a bit harder for the Luna to force that out. The side of GXR, though, I mean, they could look to make a play themselves. They do know that that one big spell is on cooldown. It's a pretty long cooldown as well. It's about 2 minutes, 20 seconds, so there's a lot of downtime there to play with. They are just kind of sitting back and farming up, trying to get some steady build-up. I believe they might just wait for the Courier of Mizu to be back up, for the Lincolns to be on hand. They're also saving up for a BKB here on Alacrity, but there's another smoke from Mystery. They still have those other spots as mentioned. They could still look to make a play.
That they can. They're going to try and go into their Radiant Triangle right now. Wards up, however, going to see Mercury, but they found KYXY. But the Lotus Orb going to bounce everything back the way as he can stampede now and just trying to get his way out on Alacrity right into the backlines onto Ghost. Will force the BKB, but it's not going to be enough. Alacrity, he is dropping low now. He needs some help, but where's the help? It's just not coming. KYXY going to go back in after Xiao Yu, but it's not looking amazing for them. The buyback will be there from Alacrity now to try to come back into this team fight, but they are dropping like flies. There goes KYXY. At least they did find the Ember. KYXY is going to buy back immediately. Into Wayne they go on the Abaddon and Ghost. They found the big one. That'll be your Luna gone now. As a massive hoof stomp is there, and look at that, John. Right into the Roshan pit they go.
Yeah, beautiful. They were given a full team wipe coming out from Mystery. They did have to buy back in a couple of years here on GXR. Definitely worthwhile. And I think it boils down to a couple of things. Mainly, Paulson's Ag Shard. Like, he just gets in the middle, gets Spell Immune, drains their mana. They can't do anything after the fact. Now to get free Aegis, they've got an Ag Shard still sitting there. Someone pick it up. Please give it to Alacrity. There you go. So he gets a free upgrade with a tree grab, no charges. He can easily divert towards the right-click Tiny down the line. No, he passes it on to Mizu.
You get the,
Right, so
the stack thing, right? A hypothermia stack. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've ever managed to see that, so this should be interesting. It does sound really amazing though in slowing down that region, and now they can go for a very simple push. KOXI stands in front, damage is dealt. Fortify is forced. They do have Eclipse backup, and Epicenter is still ready for this defense, so it could be a bit risky for GXR, but they're still going to take this tower anyway.
They at least want the tier 3, but with the double damage rune and the Aegis active, you'd rather just go straight for the racks. Of course, Mizu does have a pretty big power spike with the shards up now, so they are feeling confident, but they get the mid racks, and that'll be enough. Alacrity even tossing away the trail, making sure Mizu does not get caught. And suddenly Galaxy Racer 12k ahead in this game, and it feels really bad for Ghost because he's been so far ahead on this Luna, but it's not transitioning to victories in these team fights. It just, he can't stand in the front lines and just hit people. Like, you don't have a big tanky Centaur in the front to take away the attention. You don't have a tiny. You've got Sanking Ember, but they're not enough. They are just melting way too fast.
Yeah, and Ghost has lost that network lead now. It's just about 2k above the Drow, which is not a major item anymore for the Luna. So you're lagging behind in terms of playing to your strengths. You want that item advantage to have a huge power spike over everyone else. Now you don't have that, and I think Ghost is kind of stuck trying to figure out what to itemize. Like a while ago he was queuing up the Ags, now it's the Hurricane Pike. Ideally, I think you'd want something like a Satanic Alacrity.
He didn't get the toss back, it was out of range. Instead, they'll head up towards the top lane where Mercury does show himself, and it looks like Mercury, good game sense, does remove himself from that scenario. In fact, it wasn't even game sense, they were under vision while they were TPing. So they're going to miss out on the Ember kill. It's going to allow Ghost to go back into the triangle now and try to farm a bit more safely. He's even got that Aghanim Scepter queued up on the Luna. Oh, but there's your Soulbind down into the stomp, and now the double finger. A big Burrow Strike epicenter, but they have lost Ghost. Your massive Luna already down. Xiao Yu gonna try and chase down Polison, but look at the hypothermia stacks, John.
Oh my god.
Just stacking up. There goes Xiao Yu into another QWE. He is also caught. And that's why it's very important to de-ward your triangle if you are going to move in like that. So that was the easiest Soulbind for the Grimstroke I've probably ever seen. 3-4-3, he did not struggle whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's just difficult now for Mystery. They're forced to buy back for the defense. They do have Eclipse to play with, the Kisses to play with, so they can maybe start to punish here, but Mizu just hits so hard. He's got that Heedless along with the Hyperthermia stacks. And it's just the difference with the Luna. The Luna has so many defensive items, so many stat padding items that there's just no burst damage coming through from Ghost despite that investment.
He's got that cute Lucent Beam Glaives thing going on for Ghost. Always love to see that, but it doesn't feel impactful enough unless you have something like a big Divine Rapier or a Daedalus up. And he is going to go for the Aghanim Scepter up next on the Luna, which is going to be quite impactful, I'm sure. But, I mean, it's about that time where you start to think about just going for the Divine instead. And trying to abuse the Lucent Beam and Glaive bounce rather than the Aghanim Scepter. But I guess either way, even the Axe can be that kind of game-changing item for Ghost. So either way, you kind of need something right now.
At the least, it helps you stand further away from the fight, so you can just drop Eclipse, look for a better angle to come in, get your right click off. We did see Ghost a while ago again queuing around between the Hurricane Pike and the Ags, but looks like he's fully committed. Buys out the point booster. Doesn't have buyback anyway, so I think they understand that. If you can farm it up for the next fight, you might as well, because you can't really come into the next fight anyway if you die. So they're just going to try to get as much space as possible. GXR are going to be lining up for the top set of racks, though. That is going to be the last set. So Mystery has to be ready for that defense. Alt spells up, Epicenter, Kisses, Eclipse ready to go. They just need to find a good angle and prevent GXR from jumping that backline again.
Mercury going to try and slow them down, but he doesn't really have much farm on the Ember. So the damage output is quite low on this Ember Spirit right now. And well, Galaxy Racer, just look how hard they're hitting Xiao Yu. He's going to try and go in and start this team fight with the Eclipse out on KYXY, but he has a hard up. He is taking no damage right now on that Centaur, and nobody is dying. The team fight just means nothing, and now Polison is in with the double Hex out. They could go in with a double Hoof Stomp from KYXY into the finger. They found Ghost. That should be GG, because they don't have the buybacks, and there you go. They call it, they have had enough. They committed that whole Eclipse onto KYXY and the Centaur, and with the Heart of Tarask up, John, he just took no damage.
Yeah, it's a really tanky hero to have up front. I think the pipe was already causing issues for the damage output of a magic-oriented Luna there. You really needed a little bit more going out for your other cores there, like on Mystery. Like, if Mercury had a little bit more farm to play with, your Ember would have been able to zone out a bit better. I mean, he did have the Ags at the end. It just didn't feel like enough. He felt like he needed the Ags maybe 10 minutes before the game ended, rather than right around that time period. So, they did manage to get Ghost at an amazing start. Like, he manages to free farm for pretty much the entire game. He just drained away the resources from his Sand King and from his Ember, and they couldn't meet those fast timings. Like, we didn't see the fast blink from Xiao Yu. He was playing with just the Vanguard for a very long time, and he was tanky up front, but it felt like they needed him to jump in with a Burst Strike Epicenter, have Mercury follow up. Once they had the blink in the Sand King, the damage just didn't feel great because KYXY was already really tanky. Alacrity had his BKB up, and they found a couple of kills here and there. It just wasn't enough to turn the tides of the game.
Fair enough, John. With that, of course, we are going to be able to move on to our game number 2 between Galaxy Racer and Team Mystery. With that, by the way, allow me to apologize to the viewers, John. I have completely forgotten to launch the predictions before the games. So I'm not sure if we had a mod doing it, but I'm pretty sure we didn't. So my apologies, I did completely forget. And I believe I also forgot yesterday. So if you were here yesterday and you were shouting for predictions, I apologize. I've been a little bit sick, John, as I'm sure people could tell. So, you know, I'm having a bit of brain fart going on. But I promise game number 2, I'll turn it on. And you guys will be able to get your points in there and try to see if you're the prediction master. With that, we are going to head to a very short break. And right after that break, we'll be back with game number 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are officially here for Game 2 between Galaxy Racer and Team Mystery, and of course it is MLP Dota and Genex Fire. John, welcome back, sir. Obviously, Game 1 just went past, and well, people like me asking you the hard questions, John, so I'm going to give you another hard question. What do Team Mystery need to do differently this time around to try and force this to a game number 3?
I think they've got to be able to play a mid-game aggression. Like they played really passively. I mean, sure, you were getting farm on Ghost there, but everyone else was also just kind of sitting back, and they weren't farming as efficiently. You saw a lot of space coming out from GXR to get farm out onto Muzu, to get that really fast start on Alacrity. Once he had his blink, GXR was ready to go, and they had that strong combination on hand. They just had +1 plus Grimstroke with blink, and that was it. They just had ways to initiate. Team Mystery, again, we just need to see their off lane and their mid lane to buy that space out for Ghost, as he gets farm, but he needs his other cores to also build up true kills. They can't just sit back there, give all the farm away to the Luna in that case, and just expect that farm to trickle down at some point. It just doesn't happen unless they find kills. So we'll see if Team Mystery can get a bit of a faster pace early on. You see them pick up the line first, taking away from Paulson. We saw Paulson do amazingly well in that line. He just had so many combinations to go off with. He had the Hex to hold down the Ember, and he had a lot of good Earth Spikes coming through. The double Hex, the double Earth Spike, double Fingers coming out with Grimstroke were really strong.
Yep.
You don't have that combo for Team Mystery. They don't have the option for Grimstroke, and they have to worry a bit. There's a Tusk and Grim for GXR, so they've got save potential coming through here. They've got the Grim for those combinations on hand as well with the Tusk are nice.
That's
Team
my
Mystery
boy.
do take the Axe, so they do manage to bring it out. Looks like for now it should be Xiao Yu. I don't think they're going to be opting for that for Ghost. It's just not very Ghost-like. Ghost tends to enjoy just sitting back and farming more. He loves farm-oriented heroes. We saw GXR then out the Medusa. Maybe they eye up the Luna again. A Luna plus Axe with an Ags can be highly effective. That is one way to get some early aggression out with the Luna as well. So you just need to hit the blink timing on the Axe. Let's see what they do build up. Of course, having Axe in that lane for Mystery does make it a bit annoying for GXR. They don't have a Dispel support. They've locked themselves into Tusk Grimstroke, so no Abaddon option to just take off the Battle Hunger every time. And we'll have to see what they do want to toss into the Axe lane. Melee cores don't tend to enjoy that. We did see Mizu play really nicely with a Drow. That could be an option as well. I mean, you have to worry about the blink initiation, but it could still work out really nicely in the laning phase.
Oh, I certainly agree. I think the Axe is going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see what kind of itemization we see from Team Mystery with this Axe. Definitely plenty of options right now, I'd say, and it should be very interesting to see what they have up their sleeves. Of course, people in the chat, John, they were asking us in the middle of the break, when's the hot tub stream? Hopefully soon. We'll try to make ourselves the first DPC hot tub casting duo in Dota 2. John, you don't have any running water right now, which doesn't allow us to do that, but hopefully next time we can get the hot tub up for you, John. I know how much you enjoy it. Apart from that, though, somebody tweeted at me, by the way, as well, asking when I was going to ask you the hard question in Game 1. Shout out to that guy. I did ask John the hard question, and be prepared, Jonathan. I will have another hard question for you at the end of this draft. People really do enjoy those hard questions for you, John.
Oh, yeah.
They know how hard your life is. These questions being thrown at you all the time.
Yeah, I've got to make that call in the draft, and sometimes I'm right. Mostly I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong. I'd like to say I feel like recently it's been pretty good. Yeah, mostly. I think my read has been good. If I do say so myself, you know, I'm gonna hold myself to that standard. Yeah.
Don't get too cocky. Jonathan.
They've left the Drow here from Mystery's end, so if they wanted a range core coming out from GXR, they could still go back into that option. Maybe prioritize the Centaur if they wanted to, as you do need Stampede to save your Drow. I think that was key there. KYXY is doing a good job of popping a spell. To ensure that Mizu would live, they do take the Void Spirit first, so prioritizing what seems to be our Alacrity hero. Maybe some flexibility. I can't really recall KYXY playing it in the offlane, but he might have once or twice in a couple of games you saw before. So could be an option there to flex onto the offlane, but likely mid. Tendency for the Void Spirit. Of course, you're picking Void Spirit into Lion, so there's already some good control coming through here from Mystery to lock in the Void Spirit. But this does give Galaxy Racer a really good combo on hand. You've got Void Spirit plus Grimstroke, Inkswell plus the Astral Step In. Could be really nice. You've got the Tusk who can follow up, or Tusk to start with a snowball and you jump in and Void Spirit. They've got that mobility again, as we were seeing from game 1. They had Centaur Tiny. This time around, they've got inbuilt mobility. They don't necessarily need to wait for blink timings. They can start playing aggressively once they hit certain level spikes.
Absolutely. Team Mystery, third pick. They are still thinking about it. Does seem like you're kind of just looking for that position 5 pick up here. Unless you want to run the line 5. What is it, Jonathan? You're laughing at something.
Everyone's still asking for Ignition. they still want Ignition to play. And I see someone typing out the lyrics as well.
Oh, hey,
Warvin.
we're not banning you in our stream. You type out the lyrics if you want. It's all good with us. It's,
Yeah.
We can't play the song though. I apologize. It is I know it's a very good song. I know White One's got the voice of an angel, but we can't run it on the show.
Hey, I could sing it. I don't know if that's any better. It's still a vulgar
don't.
song.
Don't sing it, John. Team Mystery. They're going to go for the Treant Protector. Something very different here. So it does kind of indicate, generally speaking, when you go for the Treant, you're trying to hold those tier 1 towers and you're trying to dominate the map. And when you have a hero like Axe already, I think there's a lot of value in that. Because Axe does naturally want to take your tower and invade the enemy jungle. And if you could hold your own tier 1 towers while you're taking the enemies, it will allow a lot of farming potential for this Axe and the rest of his core. So I do like this pickup. What I am wondering though is what kind of core are they going to go for that just wants to farm all game? Because that is generally the idea. Is you have a very kind of greedy position 1, maybe even a greedy position 2 on top, and you just protect your towers and keep farming. And just outscale Galaxy Racer later on. At least, I believe that's going to be the game plan here for Team Mystery. I don't really see what else the Treant does exceptionally well that you couldn't get with another position 5. I suppose we'll see.
It gives you good sustain for your accent lanes. You could play a lot more aggressive early on. Run up, you get the living armor on top. You're going to be harder to zone out. I think if you're looking for cores, especially in a pause 1 to combine with the Axe and Treant, Luna still comes into mind. We saw Ghost farm insanely well. I don't think it was down to his Luna plays, really just down to the farm distribution. In this case, if you do go Luna, you could really prioritize the Axe buildup, because Axe blinks in, it clips on top of him, everyone's dead. So you can kind of play around with that combo for Mystery if you wanted to. I think would be a pretty decent Luna game. You have the Void Spirit and Tusk who can gap close, but wasn't too much of an issue there. For Mystery last time around, you do see GXR pick up the Necrophos here.
Wow.
So this is a bit scary. It counteracts, say, a Spectre. If Team Mystery were looking for that kind of AFK farm core for Ghost, it can still sort of do okay against the Luna, although the Luna can just kind of AFK farm as well. The big issue here is you've got Grimstroke. So you've got Soulbind and Reaper Sight onto 2. If they die, you've got 2 heroes with longer, much more respawn times on hand. It's never going to be fun up against a Necrophos, so there's a lot to play with there. Team Mystery do go into the AM, which does make the Necrophos lane, it's still okay, but it's also mildly annoying. If the AM wants to commit, jump up, you drain the mana of the Necrophos, he's kind of stuck in an awkward spot. The Ghost Shroud isn't necessarily prioritized early on as well, and it's harder to commit the Reaper's Sight because of that mana shield, so the counter spell is going to cause some issues for the Necrophos. It is an AFK farm core for Ghost. You can be protected by your Treant. So you are building up in that same kind of playstyle we tend to see with Ghost. And he is going to be the win condition here just by virtue of having an AM on hand.
My main concern for this anti-mage though, like, you look at the draft of Team Mystery, and I think while they can hold the towers very effectively with the Treant Protector, I don't see much in the way of team fight. Like, you've got Lion, you've got Axe, you've got Treant. You do have team fight, but in terms of playing a full Protect 1, I think you might experience some issues here. Because you've got a lot of counter initiation from Galaxy Racer. You're up against a Tusk Grimstroke who really enjoy fighting early. Necrophos, you already pointed out, with the Reaper's Scythe is going to be very annoying. Not to mention you're going to have 2 of them with the Soulbind. And on top of all that, John, once the Void Spirit can farm that Aghanim Scepter up and have that double silence, on top of the Grimstroke silence, that's going to be a big problem for this anti-mage. Now sure, you could say, well, he's going to farm Manta anyway, what's the problem? Well, the problem is there's 3 forms of silence already. So it's... I don't know about this. I don't know if AM was the pickup, but I can understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I think in this case I would have leaned towards the Luna a lot more just because of the axe combo. It just allows you to have that early aggression. AM, you're gonna farm Battle Fury, you're gonna get Manta as you mentioned, maybe even a BKB this game because of all those silences. You might just want to opt to go really defensive in your build up for Ghost. We'll have to see. They do not have last pick overall, so they're gonna have to show their mid matchup here up against the Void Spirit. Of course, there's no room for flex on the Void Spirit because Necrophos is there. Maybe mid Necrophos could come out, but it doesn't feel like something Alacrity would enjoy playing there. So you should just be hammered in. They
Not
go with the
again.
Sand King
Not
here.
again. This hero doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good. But you know what that means, John? On the brighter side, I think we might see mid-axe.
Mid axe over Sand King.
Yes,
I
100%.
feel like
I'm telling you, it is way better. I guarantee you it is better than mid-Sand King.
it is better, but Axe feels like he enjoys the long lane more, right? Like you have camps to play with. You're much more disruptive compared to Sand King, and the Galaxy Racer take the Luna themselves, so they've got a lot to play with here. It is Mercury
it's a
Sand King, so it's a Xiaoyu Axe. Yeah, like you don't want to give the long lane away from Axe. Like he really just wants to double wave, pull the camp, get a lot of farm. You don't get that pace from mid. You can maybe bully out a Void Spirit, but the Void Spirit has a lot of ways to play around the Axe there as well. I think the Sand King holds out that lane a lot better. So
Okay.
Mercury's going to hold out there. Key thing here is farm timing. So like, are we going to see the Blink Rush from Xiaoyu? Is he going to opt for the Vanguard Hood of Defiance, or at least Vanguard plus Blink or Blade Mail plus Blink? Like they need something to jump in and gap close. We kind of saw that issue from GXR early on, right? Like before Blinks were out, they weren't getting any aggression out. And it just felt really awkward. They're playing a slower game. Ghost was getting a lot of space out. Same thing for Mystery has to come out here. A blink timing on either Sand King or Axe has to come out, and they should be ready to play around that massive spike. In GXR, I think Mizu on the Luna probably going to show us how he wants to play that Luna. Maybe send a message to Ghost. Ghost really had a fantastic farm, but just didn't line up. We'll see if GXR can play around that Luna a bit better here. They do have aggression on hand. They've got those Soulbind combos and Mystery. Well, they've got an AM, but there's a lot that Ghost has to put in here to make that work.
Okay, fair enough, John, but I've got to ask you the hard question. Who came out with the better draft in your opinion?
Oh, I'm gonna say Galaxy Racer again. I like their lineup a bit more. I love that the Grimstroke comes through. They've got combinations with the Void Spirit and the Tusk in that case. A lot of early aggression that can come in. They've got the Necrophos to potentially sight through the AM, as long as you don't get counter spelled up. And you can kind of just go for the Soulbind Double Reaper as well, which is just so scary for anyone on the side of Mystery. It's just a lot of downtime in the game if you do get sighted out in two heroes. Could be a massive win for GXR in that case. And I think they've got easier farm conditions with a Luna. It's just so much easier for a Luna to flash farm. No pressure for the initial, say, Battle Fury timing and AM once. You just need Mask of Madness, and you go into jungle. You're going to outfarm the AM. At least for the first 15 minutes, it's going to feel a lot better for the Luna there.
Oh, QWE. Not going to get caught out. He has a nice Observer Ward down as well to kind of watch this rotation, but 343 knows about it. Is going to be able to deny it off very early on, and that's going to be rather unfortunate for Team Mystery. Galaxy Racer, however, obviously being able to get the D-Ward off in the safe lane this early on is going to be quite impactful, I feel, as you're going to really be able to just try and stop these small camp pulls from happening now. And of course, Team Mystery won't be able to see if there's any rotations coming into this top lane early. Mind you, I don't exactly expect Alacrity to rotate that early on the Void Spirit, but I suppose if he gets the right power rune, you never really know.
Yeah, could lead to some nice early aggression if they do get, like, say, a haste here. See some interesting lane swap outs before the scuffle here.
PWE gonna throw a nice stun out, but that'll be about it. It's gonna be a 3-for-1 trade on the bounties, so you are gonna see Galaxy Racer get a very small net worth advantage. Overall, I think Mystery won't mind too much. As well as that,
Yeah.
I thought maybe they'd start with the tri lane, and yeah, they are. GXR, they're gonna move 3-4-3 up towards the top side. And of course, when you have a Tusk up, you always want to start with the tri-lane. But I have a feeling they might keep the tri-lane in this matchup and just shut down the anti-mage.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much the AM and the Treant can do here. Dual melee up against Luna's already a bit awkward. Now you've got the potential for chain stuns coming through. Once you level up, say, Lunar Blessing here, so much more presence from your supports as well. And you can see Ghost just kind of cut out from the creep wave. Like, he needs to find that farm. They're getting really good control of the creep wave here on the side of GXR. So until some levels come in for Wayne in particular, it's not going to be a very fun lane for the side of Mystery. Again, dual melee up against 2 ranged heroes plus the Tusk. Never feels great. Of course, this is slowing down Mizu's EXP gain, and it's going to starve 343 of EXP on the Grimstroke as well. I don't think you mind that, as you're just going to have some stable farm and slow down Ghost's battle through time.
No, you just want the farm anyway on this Luna. And if you can slow down Ghost on the anti-mage, I mean, we know AM will have no game if he can't farm up. But they are going to rotate QWE up, and they are going to find 343 with an Earth Spike, and that might mean his death. Polison can't really help him out right now. 343 going to Fairy Fire. Ghost looking for the last hit. Won't be able to get it, but QWE, it's not going to be quite enough damage. So tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario here in this this safe lane of Mystery. That should make Ghost's life just a little bit easier now. That Ghost is actually out CSing the Luna at the moment, so Mizu might be the one who needs to keep up.
Yeah, it's a little bit nicer now for Mystery. I think having a Lion is just a bit scarier, and once you land, say, Earth Spike plus Nature's Grasp, you're not going to have too many angles there to follow up the aggression. You see Paulson just running through, blocking the small camp. There was already the large camp pull from Mystery, though, so the lane is going to stabilize a bit better. They need to figure out a way to give some EXP out onto Mizu, and also spread out across the supports for now.
This
Mizu
is a real problem,
again,
though.
slightly behind.
It's a real problem, though, if you allow them to get large camp pulls off like this in a tri-lane. Like, that can't happen. You can't let that happen. It's one of the strengths of the tri-lane is not allowing that to happen, and missing out on a full wave is going to be very detrimental, especially when you consider that one level can make all the difference here for either side. 343 now, going to get chased down, but Polison is going to move in with the tag team, and now the Inkswell, they might be able to turn, and they will. Wayne has gone way too far forward and is going to get punished. They might get 343, and they do, but you got the first blood gold over to Mizu. That's going to allow him to have a higher net worth than Ghost already.
And that kind of makes up for that slower start here for GXR. Does allow Mizu to feel a lot nicer here. Of course, you're not getting a major EXP advantage. Still, Ghost is slightly ahead. So you're going to have a smoother ride on the AM with Blink available. You're not going to be able to threaten the AM as much. You could see a lane swap out for 343, but he's just opting to keep the tri-lane top. Gives us a chance to look at the other lanes down bot. KYXY is on that Necrophos up against Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu's just creep cutting right now. Same time, KYXY doesn't mind us. You're a Necrophos, you can tank hits, you just get last hits. Heartstopper gives you some good passive regen on hand. So you don't mind this lane too much. I'd say it's actually better for KYXY. Like, the Axe has better jungle access in this case, but you're not zoning out the Necrophos, and he's still going to have some stable farm. Laning is really Necrophos' shortfall. Doesn't feel great until level 5, really, in terms of sustain, but you're not really punishing him for that. So let's see if Xiaoyu can use this free farm to great effect. That's going to be important. Down mid, you do have the Sand King versus Void Spirit lane, and Mercury's dropping low here.
Yeah, he is, and he doesn't have Burrow Strike right now. It was on cooldown, but it looks like it's not going to be enough for Alacrity. He will back off into the Water Rune. Stun is out, but Alacrity is still going to be able to pick up his rune. Mercury will do the exact same. And it looks like QWE going to try and just be very annoying in this mid lane, getting the mana drain off. Allowing Mercury a bit of space on this Sand King. Going back to the spot lane though, John, I really like what Xiaoyu's doing. It goes back to what you were saying, right? Like Necrophos, he's a master at laning. He wants to just kind of really get under your skin in the 1v1 matchup. But Xiaoyu, he's not actually laning against him. He'll just keep pulling the waves over and just farming them up by creep cutting. And that way, you never really deal with the Necrophos in the first place. Now, mind you, Xiaoyu's taking a fair bit of damage, but with the regen he has on hand, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, and I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like Axe is a laner. I mean, you do want that early farm, but you also want to apply laning pressure.
He can't.
And you're not really getting that then. Yeah, I mean, you can't apply it because you're running a tri-lane. And Necrophos is just going to have that easy ride. Level 6 is up, Reaper's Sight is up. You are getting more farm here on Xiaoyu, and he does have the Vanguard up. It looks like he will go Vanguard, Hood of Defiance into Blink. So it's the defensive sort of Axe build, the more farm-oriented Axe build. As long as the aim doesn't have Battle for you, you're not really eating into his resources, so there is some time here for the Axe to play the jungle, get his initial resources up. Same there for Mercury. And Mercury is going to rush the Travels into Blink, so it's a much more active Sand King coming through. Good to see from Mercury. He understands that one of these cores will have to buy space out early on. Looks like the Sand King is getting ready for that move. The issue is the mid lane has been a bit back and forth. Like Mercury's not too far behind in CS. That is because he's been dipping into the jungle. Alacrity's already off to a great start here.
WWE, he tried to rotate for the power rune. Does get the Hex off on Alacrity. Polison is going to try and feed the kill to Alacrity though, and he will. Very nice play there from Polison to read the movement of the Lion. That's not what you want to see if you're Mercury, right? Like the poor Sand King just sitting here trying to farm, but Alacrity on the other end is getting a Lion kill and is still ahead in terms of CS. In fact, look at the harassment he can deal right now. Mercury, he goes into the Sandstorm, but he is under a Sentry Ward. Alacrity does have Astral Step. Mercury is going to be alright, but just barely. Meanwhile, topside, Polison trying to start a fight, and nice shards out, blocking the way, so Wayne is getting very low. Ghost, he will try onto Mizu, but won't have the damage output. Instead, going back in onto 343, a nice Earth Spike out to block the way, but Ghost is going to be unable to finish off anyone. He will just drain a lot of mana, but that's about all he can do here. This tri-lane, you'd have to argue, is still going the way of GXR.
Definitely is. Mizu's finding more farm. The Mask of Madness is going to be up really soon for the Luna. And it's at that point when you can outfarm an AM. For the AM Sand, Ghost still needs Battle Fury. He needs his power treads up as well. There's so much more you have to save up for on the side of Mystery. And it looks like it's time for Mizu to just bail from that top lane. Go into mid, get some free farm, wait for the Mask of Madness, and then just go into the jungle. Whereas for the AM, that process into the jungle is a lot longer. KYXY makes his way up top. We've got a level 6 Necrophos up against a level 5 AM. You could look to drop the AM low and go for the Reaper site play.
Zhao Yu could be in danger. Polison has rotated along with Alacrity. He blocks the way with the shards and goes for the snowball tag team. And now they make the jump in, but Zhao Yu, he got the call off. And he can deal a lot of damage here to Polison. Looks like they're not going to have enough to kill off Zhao Yu. The Vanguard just meaning he's a bit too tanky on that axe. Even with the tag team, it's just not going to be enough. Meanwhile, top lane, Ghost was able to kill off 343, but now the Reaper's Scythe is not going to be anywhere near enough. KYXY, maybe just using it defensively there onto the anti-mage, but there was definitely no way he was going to die like that.
No, it looked like he was just trying to cut off the jump in from Ghost. Fairly long cooldown to commit defensively, so the Reaper's going to be down for about a minute and a half. It's a lot of open time here for Ghost to just sit comfortably in the lane. Team Mystery, you're seeing a little bit of activity from Mercury. He does have a haste up.
He can kill Polison here. The only problem is he doesn't really have a +1. They might turn now. 343 is chasing him down. We'll think better of it. Mercury wants to try and contest these stacks away from GXR. Now they come in onto KYXY. He'll turn around with the Inkswell though onto the anti-mage, but the stun will not connect on anyone as now Wayne is going to be targeted by Alacrity, but there's the FP sent around from Mercury as he will chase down 343, but it is not going to be enough damage. Now the snowball in Mercury. He probably needs to run, but he will stick around for the kill. In fact, a double kill now onto the Sand King, and he will try to TP away. And it's going to be enough. The greed pays off for Mercury, and while they won't stop these stacks being taken, you look at that net worth board, John, and it is going to be the Axe and the Sand King at the top.
Okay. It's really important for Team Mystery to get that initial farm, these two heroes, to transition to the AM farming. We are seeing the items line up. Zhao Yu's just given all the space in the world down bot. Hood of Defiance up on top of that Vanguard. Blink coming out next. And it's at that point where the axe is unkillable. The damage output might not feel amazing yet, but you can just hold yourself up front, distract the entire team, have them jump onto you, and there's not enough burst damage here from the side of Galaxy Racer to punish the axe. So you've got one stable foundation to play with here. KYXY's farm in comparison is just a bit too low, and the tier 1 is slowly but surely being chipped away.
Bottom lane, KYXY has to be very cautious here as Zhao Yu is going to go for the dive in. He has help coming in as well from Ghost and QWE. They do get the Hex and the call off, but it's during the Ghost Spore, but it won't matter. KYXY has no help coming in. He needs some. It's not coming. He'll just have to try and run the old-fashioned way. Zhao Yu does have the battle hunger. and the call as well, and that should be enough. QWE to lock him down, and there's your dunk out. And I'm very shocked by that, John. Nobody TP'd down to try and help. They're going to try and go onto Wayne instead. So they will be able to get him. And looking back, the only TPs that were available were Alacrity and Mizu on the Luna. Xiao Yu is caught. A great shards out from Polison. Do they have the damage output though? He's just so darn tanky, but with the Walrus Punch to slow him down, it is going to be enough. And suddenly now those safe lane kills that Mystery got don't look quite as good.
Yeah, they feed it back towards Mizu. Mizu's going to be very thankful for those kill pickups. They're going to go for that top tier 1 to trade. With a Treant, you can kind of stall out. The living armor is there. It's just not enough. It's a level 2 living armor. And the Luna still has enough in the tank to really melt right through the objective. So you're going to be able to trade evenly. The mid is under pressure, though. There's only KYXY holding out here, but he is still kind of hard to zone out despite not having any major items yet. You can't fully commit with just two heroes on hand. You might want to cut him off with an additional hero as well. And we'll see if KYXY does get punished, but they are kind of lined up mid. They've got Finger ready on QWE, but they want something juicier.
What are they going to get, though? You know, the bright side for Mystery, you've still got Ghost farming decently enough in the jungle. Not really able to keep up with Mizu yet, but maybe eventually, once he has that Battle Fury up, you'll start to see him escalate. There's going to be a big smoke here from GXR. The supports with Alacrity going to move down, and they have found a big target. But can you lock him down? Inkswell is going to be there, but no, the Aether Remnant. You needed that to connect. Now Ghost, he's going to try and run. Snowball, not going to connect either. Maybe they still have enough. They have the silence out, and Ghost. He's going to drop Mercury. He's TP'd in now. It might just be a little bit too late. All they're going to get for their trouble is 3-4-3. Not quite what you'd want.
No, it's much more favorable for GXR. They punish out the AM while he's really squishy. They catch out Mercury as well, but it's just a lack of...
Burrow Strike misses though. Mid lane's been forced in by KYXY, and we kind of talked about this during the draft phase, but the one thing you can't afford for Mystery is to lose these tier 1 towers early. GXR, they've already got the top tier 1, and they're looking at that mid tier 1 now. That's going to be the important one. You really can't afford to lose that.
You have to throw your bodies for it to save that tower. They are almost reaching the point where the Blink's going to be up in Xiao Yu. That allows them to take much better positions in these fights and allow them to get that initial jump that they need. Of course, they are still playing really nicely with a vision here from Mystery's end. They know where 343's at. They know where he's standing. He drops the sentry, but the ward is up on that cliff spot. Doesn't spot it yet. So we'll see if they manage to get that D ward off. The courier is coming up, but QWE will just get a freebie kill.
3-4-3, trying to make sure it wasn't a freebie. QWE, I don't know about this. This is very dangerous. He will protect the ward, but it will still get D ward. Looks like he's not going to get punished anyway. So it'll be fine to just run out. Like you mentioned, John, Xiao Yu now very close to that Blink Dagger. That's going to be the timing you're looking for on the side of Mystery, and there you go. He has it up now. You're also about 300 gold away from Mercury having his own Blink up. So you're going to have those double Blinks coming out. It's almost guaranteed that Mystery will go for a big smoke up with those double Blinks. In fact, they're only going to commit to one. They won't even wait for the Sand King Blink.
Yeah, I think they feel some pressure to make something happen ASAP. Mercury's just kind of stuck mid. It's so close though, but looks like they believe just Xiao Yu should be enough to get that good position.
Should be. Mid lane. Burrow Strike in. Alacrity though, he has jumped in with the Yule Scepter and the Aether Remnant now, and nobody's coming in to help. They're going top lane instead, where they'll find Mizu. Mizu has the Eclipse, but there's your call out. But look at the TPs. Immediately in with the Soulbind, and they cannot take Mizu down. They will try to retreat now, but the Eclipse is going to be out, but it's not going to be that great. Still, they protect their Luna, and that's all that matters right now. Is, well, they're going to go for even more. Polison, Shard's going to lock out QWE. A Reaper Scythe available, but it won't matter. KYXY is still able to take the kill on the Necrophos, and That's pretty bad news when Mystery can't get the first kill with that blink on the axe. That was your blink reveal, and well, maybe they should have waited for the Sand King.
KYXY.
A bit of trouble. No help on the way for KYXY. He needs to find his own way out of this. More TPs coming in, and now he has some friends, but it might be too late. Paulison trying to make his way over, and there's a snowball now to delay things as Wayne is going to get stunned up. They'll go on to QWE, but the Earth Spike was there into a massive Burrow Strike, but it means nothing as the Inkswell did land on Mercury. He will get bursted down onto Xiao Yu. Now Ghost even joining the fray, but it's not enough damage. He will at least get KYXY. Can they turn? They are going to try. Xiao Yu still moving back on a Paulison. There aren't many spells left. 3-4-3, going to go back in onto Wayne, and there's your Treant Protector now going down. Xiao Yu not going to land the call whatsoever. Ghost is still sticking around for this team fight. This is all time he has not been farming. Maybe if they get Alacrity, it'd be worth it, but he's spent a solid minute not farming whatsoever, and that's quite detrimental for Ghost.
Yeah, they don't find the big kills they want. They lose their mid-tier 2 as well. Like, you had Mizu just basically taking it by himself with Manta, and it's a Luna. It just melts objectives when it has the opportunity. He gets an Illusion Rune as well out from Alacrity, so you're feeling really nice on Luna right now. And Team Mystery, they're losing map space here. There's some deep wards from GXR, watching the top jungle, watching that mid lane to allow that push earlier on. They do smoke up again on Mystery. They've got the blink up in Mercury. They just need to find the angles with this double blink play.
Good game sense though. GXR gonna back off at the right time, realizing everyone was missing, and Alacrity might still get caught. QWE, oh, he put the ward down too late. He can still go. Mercury now apparently on the cliff. Trying to get that vision. They'll see 3-4-3. They'll see Alacrity. It's not going to lead to anything though.
Yeah.
3-4-3. If they get the Grimstroke, I suppose that's something. You'd rather Mizu though. Problem is Mizu has the ulti up. KYXY is going to walk in and... Well, Mercury, he'll be silenced, but he will be able to Burrow Strike away. Still Alacrity does get the Yule Scepter off into the Aether Remnant. Xiao Yu, he can't get the Blink Call in. He can't really counter-initiate here. He's still waiting and now does get one off, but it's only going to be onto Paulison, who will snowball away, and now the Double Reaper side is out. They'll go on to Wayne now. Alacrity, he's not going to land the Aether Remnant, but it won't matter. This draft is... It's not really working quite yet for Mystery. It is just not working.
No, and now that opens up the Roche for GXR once more. First Roche for game, Aegis going out for them in the end. I'm just looking at their builds, and I have to give a shout out here. KYXY is going for Sanj, and I know for a fact Mr. Crest, Mr. Rank 200 Crest right now, Necrophos spammer, Necro God himself, he gets flamed for going Sanj on Necrophos. He likes it. He doesn't know why he builds it. He just feels like stat resist is good. KYXY, you know, he's going for it as well. So I guess that's some vindication for our friend Crest. But I mean, it's just nice. You get more strength. You get more stat resist. You're harder to kill up front. KYXY is just a bit of a menace. And we've seen Mystery kind of commit onto the Necrophos a couple of times where they just don't have enough burst damage to kill him with just 2 heroes. You need to commit 3, 4 heroes out. You might have to toss out the finger. And KYXY, as long as he gets a good spot in the fight, Double Reaper, when it's out, you're adding 25 seconds, 35 seconds to the respawn. It just becomes very hard for Mystery to find some follow-up fights. Hard for them to get the defense out for these objectives. They're still holding out on Ghost, finding that Manta farm. Battle Fury's up. You're an AM that's lagging 3.5, 4.5k behind a Luna. This is just supremely underfarmed compared to the Luna, and Ghost really has to put the work in to kind of close that gap.
Who said Sanj is bad on Necro?
I know, he gets flamed in his pubs.
How is
he gets
it bad?
flamed by everyone else.
Stance resist is so broken on a hero like Necrophos of all things. Who the hell says that's bad?
Yeah, but I don't know, people he queues up with at 200, you know, rank 200, I don't know. They flame him for it.
Actors. That's what they are, John. They're just acting. GXR gonna move up. Smoke up. Xiao Yu does not really want to die again, and looks like he reads the map. will realize something is awry and does back off at the exact right time. Alacrity, though, still sees Mercury, and he's going to jump in. Aether Remnant does latch on. The Sandstorm not going to do anything, and this is why I hate mid-sanking, John. It doesn't do anything. It's...
Yeah.
You know what I always say, John? If your Page can't make it work, nobody can. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it used to have a place. It just doesn't feel great. I think the hero... I mean, the change to Epicenter was nice. It still feels like its spikes are too awkward. A level 1 Epicenter just feels very unimpactful if you don't have a Veil. And now you see off that kill, they go for the tier 2.
Yeah, that's a nice Aether Remnant and a great read from Alacrity to go onto the high ground. Wayne is going to try and escape, but he cannot. He found another. He found QWE in the exact same way now. QWE is trying to run, but they are just diving the base. Alacrity has another step available. QWE, the shard's not going to lock him in. He will still go for it and gets it. Oh, cool guys, do not look at explosions. Alacrity, he throws the Remnant, he looks away. And long behold, John, he lands it.
Yeah, and Alacrity's just on fire. From his Tiny in game 1 to his Void Spirit here. They find the kills, they pressure a tier 3, they go for racks. This is the power of Luna. Once you reach the high ground, objectives do not stand for all too long. They still have the Aegis as well, so there's no risk to Mizu here. No risk at all.
Nope. He's fine. When you say that, there's your call out now. Mercury channeling the epicenter, but no, the snowball! Paulison! He wastes the whole epicenter, and now they just get bursted down. The buyback's there from Xiao Yu, but does it even matter? They've already got the bot racks, and quite frankly, GXR could go for the mid. They still have the Aegis.
Yeah, it's a tough defense now. No Epicenter. You're gonna have to just play with a call, try to jump in, hope Ghost gets some good use out of the space. There's only so much an AM that's 4K behind can do. And Mizu, again, once he focuses on the tier 3s, living armor or not, it's not going to stop Luna. It's just not enough to stop this kind of damage output. Once the racks are open, they just melt to the glaives bouncing around. And what do? I mean, there's Aegis. Even if you call him, you have to deal with that second life.
And now you've got an Aghanim Scepter there on Alacrity. So you've got even bigger problems now if you are the side of Team Mystery, as they are lacking BKBs at the moment. In fact, nobody on the team has a BKB. The best you've got is the Manta style on Ghost, but he's been caught out again. Alacrity, not going to go for the Aether Remnant. He's just going to test the waters here, and Ghost, he's just going to keep trying to farm up into the Eye of Skadi. And I said this during the draft phase, John, but I question whether the Manta is going to be enough to really purge off the silences that Galaxy Racer do have. Because you do have 3 different silences, plus all the other disables that are available. And by the way, this is what I was going to say about KYXY as well. Why not go Kaya Sanj? It's genius.
Yeah. I told Zhong the same thing. He's like, yeah, I will, but the game ended before he could. They already won. So it's just so good, right? Like you get mana regen amp, which is great with your passive. You get lifesteal as well, which is decent if you get a lifesteal source down the line, and it's just really strong. I think right now all we need from KOXY is perhaps the Ag Shard. Death Seeker is highly underrated, as I believe Ice has mentioned. Of course, they are taking the top tier 2 now, just clearing out all the outer towers. Team Mystery, this is not the area they want to force the fight. They need to force it on the high ground. It's a bit of an awkward position.
They know he's there, I think. Mizu knows. They're going to go in. Epicenter out. They've got the Luna, but the Aegis not available anymore. Maybe they burst him down, and they do. Mizu is going to drop. There's your Soulbind out now, but do you want to fight without your Luna? Probably not. But there's your Reaper Scythe down. Mercury, he's going to get bursted down onto Ghost. He will have to blink away, but Xiao Yu will go back in on the Axe, but is it going to be enough? QWE, he's in. They'll burst down the Grimstroke. Can they keep going though? Aether Remnant gonna lock down Xiao Yu. QWE gonna try and come back in, but look at the damage output from Alacrity. They lock him down with the core, but it's just not enough. Ghost might need to back off now as the snowball's out from Paulison right back into Wayne. The Treant is gonna try and run, but there's no way out.
Dominating, I guess. Double kill.
And that's the best team fight we've seen. From Mystery, they managed to burst down Mizu before he pops the BKB. They got a lot of golden XP out of that, but even then it was still a 2-for-3 trade, and Well, QWE, he bought back, but it led to nothing.
Yeah, I think if you're GXR, you don't mind that at all. Like, you might have lost your Luna without Aegis. Sure, it's a pretty big kill for Team Mystery. It's not enough to really swing the net worth away. And you still manage to find some punishment. Team Mystery, they force a fight outside their high ground, so they do stall out an eventual push, which is great. The next Roche is still a minute off, so GXR is going to have to wait a little bit longer until they see the objective play. See the timer for them to line up there. But Mizu already has Butterfly, saving up for what I'm just going to assume is the Satanic next. Then you're pretty much set on Luna to just never die, as long as you get your BKB off. Double damage comes out as well, bottled up for Mizu. No Roche again, so they can't just instantly Roche, but they could high ground here. There's no epicenter for, well, not too long. It is going to be back up. There is some defense coming out from Team Mystery if the high ground's forced. They really need to find those angles like we saw last time. If they get a good initiation out from Mercury and from Xiao Yu, burst down Luna before anything else, you kind of open up your chances there in that defense.
Mystery. In that same spot. Now, last time around, I thought Mizu knew about this. So he was facing that way, and it looks like he was really considering throwing out maybe a Lucent Beam in and seeing what happens. Apparently last time he did not know about it, and Mystery might try to abuse it again. But now though, GXR, they are going to back off and smoke up instead. Mind you, you have a double damage on Mizu, so the damage output is going to hurt quite a bit. They are going straight after Ghost. They want the AM. He's not going to be the easiest target to catch out. In fact, he's going to hide in the tree line now, and he should be just fine. Unless Alacrity breaks his smoke. Which way do you go, sir? Ghost is going to be spotted now. Aether Remnant not going to land, but they have the Walrus Punch there. Into the silences. The Manta may not be enough. Ghost is trying to run, but yeah, they get him.
Oh boy.
What I was talking about, John.
This is really awkward for Ghost Mike. He bought out his 2 ultimate orbs. He doesn't have buyback.
Oh. That's pretty bad. QWE has been caught. Aether Remnant to lock him down. He's gone. Xiao Yu. Oh, not going to do too much here with the core. Mercury's in with the epicenter, but the snowball going to save the day again. Polison is just way too on target when it comes to playing Tusk. And that'll be another. 3 down, no buybacks available. I believe you may as well call it at this point.
Yeah, look at Mizu. He doesn't care. He's just going for tier 4s. Wants this game done and over. And Mystery, no buybacks. I don't see a strong defense coming out from the Axe, and they called it GG.
Yeah. Very hard game here for Team Mystery. I appreciate they try to make the AM work, but I think there was just too many risks here with the draft of Mystery as well, right? Like, you had this question mark in the mid lane with the mid sanking, and we've seen it a couple times from teams like Neon Esports, but like I said, if your Page is struggling to make the hero work in the mid lane, it's hard to imagine other people being able to make it work. And while Mercury did try his absolute best, the impact just wasn't there.
Yeah, it just didn't quite line up. I think there were a couple of things that Mystery did that kind of worked against them, specifically that smoke gank without waiting for Mercury's blink, kind of split up their fight. Mercury got picked off, delaying the blink further, and they just didn't get that massive reveal they wanted in Xiao Yu, so it doesn't quite line up. They always go for these farm-heavy heroes for Ghost. This time around, again, just not finding the angle for it, but it's a very clean win for Galaxy Racer. 2-0, very strong showing from them across both games, especially game 1. We saw a massive deficit early on. Ghost was just so far ahead, but they managed to reel it back in and close it out in fantastic fashion.
And by the way, John, I believe we already have an interview. We have 343 just sitting there waiting, so we'll drag him in and see what he does have to say. Hello, Mr. 343, can you hear us?
I hear you very well.
Well, congratulations on your victory, sir. How you feeling after that series?
Feeling all right.
Fair enough.
Feeling all right.
You sound a little tired, sir. Have you had a long day?
I mean, my day just began. Woke up pretty early today. Had some Milo in the morning, you know, the classic
Wait, they have Milo?
gamer lifestyle.
Milo
Yeah,
is
we
in
do.
this? Wow, that's impressive. I thought Milo was Australian.
It's a Southeast Asian thing. What do you mean? We have Milo Dinosaur in Singapore. We have Milo Peng. Yeah.
Wow. There you
How
go.
dare you? All right, I got a couple of questions for you, Adam. How are you guys feeling here in the lower div? We saw Galaxy Racer go through 2 seasons. This season's looking to shape up better. You guys like your chances in climbing up in the last few weeks here?
Yeah, the team feels pretty good right now. I think we started a bit slow. We had some stuff to figure out, but it feels like we're almost at where we want to be. So yeah, it feels pretty nice.
Fair enough. Let's see. You guys only have a couple of matches left. I believe your next opponent should be. Let me just double check it really quick. In week 6, so you guys are actually free for week 5. You've got 496 and MG Trust. You guys confident against them? Like MG Trust, they're up there in the top. Like you guys have a game plan to deal with the giants of lower div right now?
We play them quite a bit. I think most games are like close, win or lose, So I think it's a 50-50 for now, but we're gonna strive for it and we're gonna work hard for it. So hopefully it turns out in our favor.
Fair enough.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got to ask, it does seem like you guys have progressively improved quite a bit as time's gone on. Was there any key factors that was kind of leading to the struggle earlier on in the season? Because right now you guys are looking very solid.
I think we had a lot of communication issues where people were like, I think all of us were trying to fill roles, like fill holes in the team. But as we played together more, like everything came together more naturally, I guess. So we kind of everything's a bit more chill right now, I guess, as the whole overall environment. So I think that's what's the biggest change from our first game to now.
Okay, that's great. I've got one unrelated to Dota question. You're from Malaysia. There's a lot of good food there. Do you have anything specific that you love to eat? I love knowing what people enjoy eating. Well, what's your favorite dish?
Damn, bro, dude, everything here is good, man. Come
Not
on,
a
bro.
single one that stands out. Like
No, bro, everything stands out. Everything
all right,
stands out.
all right, and I'm looking forward to meeting you and going to Mamak sometime. Have some
Alright,
good
man.
food. Yeah.
343, before we let you go, so do you have anything to say to the fans or any fans of the team, any fans of yourself?
Thanks for supporting us, even though we didn't really do too well early on. We're getting there, we're getting there.
Yeah,
All I can say.
I think you guys are doing great. Don't you worry, sir. I think improvement's more important, right, than instant results anyway. You guys...
Yeah, for sure. It's a long term, and what's important is the environment and like the progress every day.
Absolutely. With that, sir, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for the interview and best of luck in your next series.
All right, thanks, man. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice guy. That was 343 from Galaxy Racer. Definitely nice. Sounds like a pretty chill guy. And John, I've got to admit, I didn't know that Milo was a Southeast Asian thing. I really didn't know that. I promise you, I swear to you, John, my whole existence in this world, I have thought that Milo is Australian, right? I've never seen it in any other country. So you're telling me, did it originate from SEA? Is that where it's from?
I can't claim if it originated in Southeast Asia. All I know is it's an integral part of Southeast Asian culture. When I was I think it's just all over Southeast Asia, and it makes sense it would make its way to Australia. But you wake up, you have a nice cold Milo, iced Milo, or if not, a hot piping cup of Milo. In Singapore and Malaysia, where Adam's from, you've got Milo Dinosaur, which is like a regular Milo, and then you just pile on more powder on top that's not mixed in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah.
It's not good for you, but it's excellent.
Now, see, I don't do that, but my wife sometimes she asks me to make her a glass of Milo, and I have to put so much damn Milo on the top, and it's ridiculous. Like, how do you eat that? How do you eat that much chocolate powder before you can even get to the drink? I don't know, these savages and psychos, John. I'm a man, I'm a gentleman. I like to just have my Milo in a normal glass, just mixed in. Some nice chocolate milk, Jonathan, but you psychos out there, you want to add all the chocolate powder on top, and I don't know how you do it. Nevertheless, there you go. That was lower division for today. Unfortunately, we don't have any other series. Luckily, however, unlike yesterday, or rather the day before, we do have upper division today. In fact, I'm just going to have a look at what matchups are on right now, but I'm pretty sure they should be pretty hype.
Yep. We've got Smart Omega up against Fnatic and TNC versus Boom. So you've got well, Fnatic kind of trying to climb back up. Position right now is kind of lower middle of the pack, and Smart Omega trying to make their way into the top three. They're right on the edge, right below Execration. So we'll see if the Smart Omega boys can do it. TNC versus Boom is the hype Indonesia versus Philippine matchup. So that's where you're going to see a lot of people in chat getting timed out. Just watch yourselves. Be a bit more civil. There is a bit more control in the main channel, but still have a good time. That should be a really hype win. TNC versus Boom. Just, Philippines versus Indonesia. It's always fun to watch no matter what the game is.
Well, with that, that's going to be it for today. I'm just wondering whether we're going to have time to actually host the main stream, because they're going to be up in about an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not really much of a point in us just keeping the stream up, I don't think. I will, if you don't know what channel the main upper division games are going to be on, it is PGO_Dota2 on Twitch. And I'm pretty sure it's pretty much the exact same name everywhere else. If you are unsure, just ask in the Twitch chat and I'll link it to you. But that is going to start in about an hour. And yeah, head over there, some pretty hype matchups. Apart from that, it is MLP Dota and John X Fire, and it's been a pleasure casting for you all today, and I believe we'll be back tomorrow for some more great SEA Dota. I'll see you then.